I totally didn't catch that either.
I think, yeah, I'm recording now. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, now this meeting is called to order, and I'll do the land recognition. So we would like to acknowledge the history of the traditional territory on which this university stands. We would also like to respect the long-standing relationships of the 3 local First Nations groups of this land and place in southwestern Ontario. The Attawandaron neutral peoples once settled this region alongside the Algonquin and Haudenosaunee peoples and used this land as their traditional beaver hunting grounds. The 3 other long-standing Indigenous groups of this geographic region are the Anishinaabe peoples, also referred to as the Three Fires Confederacy, including Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations, the Haudenosaunee peoples, also known as the Iroquoian people or 6 nations, including Mohawk, Oneida, Cayuga, Onondaga, Seneca, and Tuscarora, and the Lenni Lenape peoples, also referred to as the Delaware and or Munsee. The 3 First Nations communities closest in proximity to this university are Chippewa of the Tams First Nation, part of the Anishinaabe, Oneida Nation of the Tams, part of the Haudenosaunee, and Munsee Delaware Nation, part of the Lenni Lenape. So we'll now go through roll call. I'll just call out your name and then you say here. So me, here. AVP Castagna.
Present.
Commissioners, that's not spelled correctly. Is it Q-U-E-I-R-A, Sarah?
Present, yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect. Commissioner Buzek?
Present.
Commissioner Burrows?
Present.
Commissioner Calhoun?
Here.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce your last name again, Nawal.
Farouk.
Farouk? Okay, Commissioner Farouk?
Present.
Perfect, and Commissioner LaRue?
Here.
Perfect. So we have quorum. Next, we'll move on to comments from the chair. So welcome everybody to our first Communications Standing Committee. These will occur every 3 weeks. For now, I only scheduled this one, but within this week, I do plan to send out a giant doodle poll so we can schedule all of them for at least first semester. That way we know when the dates are, and then we can schedule it in our calendars, and then we don't have to worry about doodle polls ever again, hopefully. So this doubles up as our portfolio meetings as well. Of course, if we do need to meet more than just the standing committee, I'm totally open to that and we totally can. But this is kind of just to make sure that we all meet and we're all held accountable. So yeah, I guess we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. This is also kind of a good mini practice for council, even though I know none of you are voting members on general council. You are here. So for the approval of the agenda, I have to edit this first. If I can get a motioner, if anybody wants to motion this motion. No one, no volunteers.
Commissioner Farouk.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. And can I get a seconder?
Commissioner Sequeira.
Is it like that? I always mix up the E and the I. Okay, perfect. Save. There we go. Okay, so the agenda passes. Approval of draft minutes. We don't have to do that since this is our first one, but in our second, third, fourth, etc., we will approve the draft minutes of the meeting prior to. So our next meeting will approve the draft minutes of this meeting. And then we can move on to for discussion. So I'll let Emily take it away for appointment of standing committee secretary.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so the reason I'm here is to, just for this pretty much, this agenda item here, appointment of the standing committee secretary. So standing committees are a new concept, so I'm very excited to see all of you here and see if it's running properly, and all that's great. We do need to hold accountability in terms of keeping track of what's said at standing committees. So as you saw, Paula is recording it. It's going to be going on the YouTube channel just for us to be able to look back on in the future, just to have like a backtrack of everything. But we also will be having everything written out. And so Lisa, the Secretary of Council at General Council meetings, she does the meeting minutes for it, but she is not a full-time worker getting paid like $45,000 an hour, a year, like some secretaries are of big corporations. And so the fact that we are incorporated, we do have to go to the same standards of keeping track of everything said at meetings. Unfortunately, we don't have the manpower for one person to be doing all of it. So the way we got around this is I have Lisa as the manager of all the meeting minutes of all the little committees everywhere, but we're going to be delegating it out. So each committee has its own little mini secretary in the committee doing the meeting minutes of the committee, and then you'll be sending it to Lisa. So since she can't do all of it, we're just going to be delegating it out. And so in the policy currently, it says that if nobody volunteers, the AVP automatically does it. But if somebody wants to volunteer to be the committee secretary, it's a really good rating experience. We'll give you the training. You don't have to say every single word said. So when you're typing it out, you don't say word for word what I'm saying. You could say like, President Petch asked a question regarding this. This person said this. So you're not like just kind of a SparkNote version. We just need a little bit of a paper trail. So it's nothing like too crazy either. So you could be writing it live in person. So while you're here, you'll be writing it. And you can also have the video that Paula's recording, so you could watch it back after if you missed something and want to look at it. And the due date for those would be 3 weeks later. So you know how these are a 3-week rollout, the standing committees? So 3 weeks later, when we have our next one, it'll be on the agenda under that Exhibit 2 that you're seeing. There's nothing there right now. That's where it would be attached. And so then we pass the meeting minutes from the previous meeting at the next meeting. So you have 3 weeks to do it. And so right now I'm looking for if anyone does want to volunteer to do this and do the meeting minutes for this standing committee. If not, it does go directly to the AVP. So if you do want to volunteer for this, just let me know right now. It obviously would be taken into account when we do reference letters and everything in the future as well for positions when we do end our council term in April.
I'd be interested in that. I was the secretary on Residence Council last year.
Yeah.
I'd also like to do it, so if we have to have a vote or whatever.
I'm losing track of who was the first person that spoke?
Oh, sorry, Commissioner Busick.
Okay, and then who was the second person that spoke?
Counselor Castagna.
Okay. All right, yeah, so a way we could do it is you guys could obviously take turns doing it. If you guys do want to do a little mini campaign to have the full position, if you guys, as a standing committee, want one person always doing it for consistency, maybe we can do a little debate if we want to let you guys take turns, or maybe if you guys are wanting just one person to do it. I actually am looking for potentially the finance standing committee. Actually, no, it's the advocacy. The advocacy standing committee, nobody volunteered to do it, so the AVP was forced to do it. The AVP is not super happy to be doing it. She said she is willing to do it if she has to, but she's not super happy about it. Another option is one of you could be watching back the videos of the advocacy one and doing the meeting minutes for that one, because I would love for someone to volunteer to do the advocacy one. If there's 2 people wanting to do this really badly, if one of you guys want to do the advocacy one, I am very, very confident the AVP would be very happy to let you do that. But you would have to be taking the video, because you know how these are recorded. The video, we would send it to you, and you would watch back the advocacy one and write the meeting minutes for it. Is that something either of you are interested in, doing it for the other standing committee?
Commissioner Busick, I would be willing to do that as well, just since Sarah and I already share a role. I know that Councillor Castagna has a lot of responsibilities. I'd be willing to watch back the videos from a different standing committee.
So could I have Michaela, so you are going to do this one for communications, is that correct? And Astoria, you are going to do the advocacy one?
Yes, I can do that.
Perfect. Okay, I think Rebecca will be very happy to hear that too, because we had a big group of 15 people not volunteer, and then the AVP was kind of enforced to do it. So I actually really appreciate you both stepping in and doing that. And I will notify Lisa so she can like train you guys and give you all the guidance on how to do that. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I will take it back down to Paula now.
Okay, awesome. Wow, I'm so glad that both of you are interested in doing that. That's awesome, and it does look really good on a resume too, which is why we're all here. No, I'm kidding. But so we'll move over to standing committee and subcommittee terms of reference. I just wanted to bring this to your guys' attention just so you kind of know kind of why we're all meeting, why we have to, you know, this isn't just randomly because I feel like it, you know, just to, like I said before, hold us all accountable. So essentially there is a standing committee for each off of each portfolio essentially. So for example, Brooke's portfolio is, has the advocacy committee, finance has the finance committee, et cetera, et cetera. Although I do see AVP Castagna has a hand, so I can take a question right now if you'd like.
AVP Castagna, sorry, Paula. I just wanted to ask, should I start doing the minutes right now for this meeting?
If you can do like Spark Notes, and then we can like show you how to structure it later, that'd be great. I just wasn't sure if you're like confident, just kind of go about it. But do you think like the guidance I gave you in terms of like Chief Officer Bravo like talked about this and like someone asked a question about this, do you think you're good?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I should do them and just like not
that would be fantastic if you can. Like, thanks so much.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. So yes, so there's a standing committee off of kind of each portfolio, and of course the communications standing committee is off of the communications portfolio. So I just kind of wanted to read out the mandate, essentially what the point of all of us meeting is. So essentially we shall create policy and procedural recommendations to council on the following: effective communication and promotion of BUCSC activities and initiatives, media relations, and volunteer recruitment and recognition. So essentially, if anybody wants to, like kind of how Emily explained in the general council meeting, if anybody wants to bring forward a motion, somebody could absolutely bring forward a motion that has anything to do with these 3 points, and we would have to meet as a committee and kind of discuss what their motion is and see if we agree with it and if we want to pass it. That just kind of gives more legitimacy behind motions that are being passed to council, and they're not just randomly being created at someone's dinner table, like Emily likes to say. So we'll also be reviewing and making recommendations to council on all matters that relate to the communications portfolio, and we will be reviewing all BUCSC positions in the communications portfolio. As you can tell, this portfolio is just made up of us, and then the president, the governance officer, and speakers sit on it as ex officio members, meaning they don't really have to be here for every single meeting unless they are bringing something forward and need to speak on it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you that this is available to you guys if you ever have more questions or want to look into it more. It is in the general council resources tab if you ever, you know, want to pull it up and take a closer look at it, or any other committees that we have on council. Next, I wanted to talk about your guys' ordinary and resource member terms of reference. So essentially, we have this document which outlines everybody's roles and duties and what we're supposed to be covering. I was taking a look at this a couple of days ago, and I noticed that each position doesn't really reflect what I have you guys doing. So I was thinking that maybe we could make a motion to amend it and bring it to general council. So I just kind of wanted to point out some of the things that I've noticed that could kind of be rearranged in a sense. So for example, for AVP, it says that they shall be responsible for taking photos and or video recordings of BUCSC events that include, or not limited to, club events, soft peer mentoring programs, awareness week, major BUCSC programs. Obviously this year with COVID, there's not going to be a lot of in-person photography taking place or anything like that, but I just felt that this was more appropriate to be under the film and photography commissioner, which is here. Previously, we had this commissioner as the Brescia TV editor, but that's just not a big enough, I would say, channel or aspect of the communications portfolio for just one person to have to manage the YouTube. I feel like that's not a lot. So we changed it to Film and Photography Commissioner. And therefore within the name, I just feel that taking pictures and such should first fall under Film and Photography. And if they are not able to, then it directly falls onto the AVP to cover it. And then if they're not able to, then the CCO to cover it. So yeah, I was looking to move that, as well as, where are you? The social media commissioners. So we are able to have 2, and we do have 2, which is great. But it does state that if we have 2 people elected for this position, then the work has to be divided in that each person gets one of the social medias to manage. I feel now with like the fact that we can have, for example, like the Instagram is set up so that when I post on Instagram, it's also posting on Facebook and it's also posting on Twitter automatically. So I feel that it's kind of pointless to have 2 people like managing Facebook and Snapchat and another person Instagram and Twitter, especially because we don't have a Snapchat that's active right now. So I kind of wanted to change it in terms of making it more, I guess, general, so that the CCO and the AVP can kind of decide the best way to divide work as it comes, versus having to strictly stick to, you know, Facebook and Snapchat to one commissioner and then Instagram and Twitter to the other commissioner. So that was the second thing I wanted to kind of amend. And then lastly, the Brescia Buzz editor. So this year we found that it would be more useful to have 2 people in the position, which is why we have Jillian and Autumn, both as Brescia Buzz editors. So I wanted to change the terms of reference to reflect that we can hire up to 2 Brescia Buzz editors, especially because this year, as many of you know, the Brescia Buzz has not been active. Even if it was to a minimum. And Emily and I really have like big plans for this position. So we really want, you know, to go full force with it. And we feel that like having 2 people in the position would be easier to divide the work. So I just wanted to kind of amend the TOR to reflect A, being able to hire 2 positions, and B, kind of outlining how the responsibilities could be divided as well. I also kind of want it in a general sense so that it could be up to the CCO and AVP to kind of gauge that year what is needed, so that the work could be divided. Like, you know, one person maybe could be posting monthly content that's more on like the fun student life side. The other person could be uploading the recaps of the standing committees and general council meetings, etc. So yeah, I just wanted to bring to your attention that I will be eventually putting forward a motion to amend these things. And I also wanted to give you guys the opportunity that if you see anything under your position or anything in the communications portfolio that you feel should also be amended, or you feel that it could change, or we could find a better way to do it. You know, if you guys have any ideas, also opening the floor to that, or if you guys are against any of my proposals, also please let me know. Now's the time. But yeah, if there's no, I guess, I can take any questions if anybody has questions. Just kind of shout it out too, because I awkwardly can't see the chat. I don't think, can I? Yes, I can. Yeah. Commissioner Sakura, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that we had a Snapchat account for us to run. I thought it was just like before like Facebook, Insta, and then like Twitter and LinkedIn. I didn't know we had a Snapchat.
Yeah. I remember, I think the last time I saw the Snapchat active was when I was like the beginning of my 2nd year. I'm in my 5th year now. So it definitely hasn't been active, and it wasn't even given to me as like from any previous execs.
You don't have
here's the Snapchat password and email or anything like that. They were just kind of like, here's Facebook and Instagram, bye. And I was like, okay, cool. But we do have a Snapchat, and if you guys are interested in getting that going, it could be useful, especially since, you know, COVID and everyone's from home. We could maybe find use for the Snapchat. And actually, now that you mentioned that, also putting in that we have a TikTok account, because I made one, as I mentioned in the general council meeting. Actually, Brooke put me on the spot for that one. I wasn't planning to reveal it, but here we are. So yeah, probably also putting in that we have a TikTok account. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys are interested in getting the Snapchat up and going again, I'm totally open to it as well. Or removing it completely. What do you actually, that's a good question. Should we try to get the Snapchat up and going again, or should we just say, nah, this ain't it?
Can you see the chat at all or no?
Oh, yes. Okay, yes, Commissioner Buczek. Sorry.
Commissioner Buczek, I think it would be a good idea to try to like get it up and going. I think it would be like a more fun type of thing once COVID is over, and we could like do like mini stories of like what's going on at our events. But I think that right now we could use it as like a way to post reminders for people, because I think most people would go on Snapchat daily as they would Instagram. But like if you're just clicking through all the stories, that would just be another opportunity for them to see something.
That's true. Commissioner Sakura.
Commissioner Sakura, just going off of Commissioner Buczek's statement, like I agree that we should get the Snapchat like up and going again. Because personally, I use Snapchat more than Instagram. Like I check it once or twice a day, but Snapchat's like a constant for me. So I think just to like reach out to more students in that way would be a lot easier.
True. Okay, cool. So we'll leave Snapchat in, and then we can also collab and bring our, you know, brains together to think of ways of getting it up and going. I'm probably going to have to create a new account completely, since I don't even know the login information of the previous account. So yeah, okay, awesome. I'll get working on that as well. Was there anything else? Any comments, questions, concerns, debate? Also, if you do have, if you do want to, this is also available for you guys to see, if, especially those who are new to the team, if you feel like you need to go over your TOR and your responsibilities, I am planning on doing one-on-ones with all of you, so we can also sit and go through it. So if you have any specific questions to your position, more than happy to. Yes, Commissioner Calhoun.
Commissioner Calhoun, I think also maybe under the things about the different positions, if you could put that the standing committee meetings are part of that as well, that might be helpful to keep all the duties in like one spot. I don't know if they're listed or not.
Emily?
Hi, President Petch. This, honestly, anything just to this direct policy is a little bit of a Band-Aid fix. So we're trying to, as you can see, Chief Officer Bravo, do you want to just scroll down to show them what's at the very bottom of this policy? The actual reps are here too. So here's all your reps on council. They are appearing on this policy too. I don't think that both hired positions, you guys are technically employees, and counselors who were elected should be all in the same policy. So what I'm trying to do, and it's like an 8-year, wow, I'm really good today, an 8-month plan. I don't know if you've like heard me talk about the policies, the bylaws. I'm fixing a lot of the corporate papers at the moment. One of the things I'm going to be fixing is I want like a 1-page contract for each position. So it's going to say like if your position gets an honorarium, which like the AVP does, and who's your supervisor, which is Paula, and like direct like what's how your position entails. So standing committee, general meeting, all of that. So kind of the changes you guys are like thinking about, and if changes do end up on this policy, they'll probably all be removed from this policy in a couple months. It's more like you just getting it down on paper somewhere pretty much. But like rest assured, I'm trying to make more validity behind the fact that you guys are hired positions. You deserve a 1-page contract just for you, not like 5 sentences in a policy, because like you are technically employees. So that's where I'm trying to move. So yeah, totally. Like if you guys want to put the standing committees on there for now, I just didn't play around too much with your positions on here yet myself, because I knew I'd be moving it over to a different like avenue very soon. How about I aim for the contracts for before term 2 hits? Like it's obviously I'm gonna have to like write out a 1-page contract for all 50 positions on council, so it's gonna be a little bit of work. But what you guys can do for me for now is to start like figuring out exactly what you guys want your positions to look like, so I can just transfer it over real nice. That's kind of what we're doing right now. That helps a little bit.
Yeah, that's essentially what in the past council has been notorious for having one thing on paper and doing the other in reality. So we definitely are just trying to like Emily said, legitimize everything and have validity behind it all, so that, you know, we are being held accountable like on paper, like as a contract. So just kind of like she said, like a band-aid fix until those contracts are able to happen. I also don't want her to feel like she has to have them like, you know, tomorrow, right? So kind of just having it outlined there for all of us, so we have like we can have something to look back on until those contracts do get created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Emily's idea. It sounds like it'd be really organized, so we all know exactly what our duties are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, like everybody deserves more than 6 lines. Like you deserve more than 6 lines explaining who your supervisor is. If you're a position that gets an honorarium, we need more validity behind those kind of positions too. Because like AVP, for example, does get an honorarium. It should say like honorarium, what kind of position you are. Are you volunteer? Are you technically an employee? Who's your supervisor? How can you be sanctioned? Can you be removed from council? Because as of right now, we have it. So you guys have to be removed from council like a councilor does. As in, like, you get the mayor points and motions off of council. You guys are employees, so we're looking into seeing if that's, like, the best way to get removed from your position anyway, because you're not technically a councilor. You were hired to do work for council. So we're just looking at a lot of changes. So kind of, like, hold on, work with us, and the best thing you can do is just really help us, like, mold your positions to see, like, what you want your contract to look like.
Yeah. Was there any more questions about the TOR? Or contracts? I don't see anybody saying hand in the chat. So we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the poster template project. So I will hand it over to Michaela.
AVP Castagna. So basically, after Paula rebranded basically the whole website and created a new website, we want to take a different approach to the social media posts. So if you look in the past on the Brescia Instagram, there was basically not many, if any, informational posts. So last year, I don't even remember my position. They made me a position because I really like to make graphics.
Outreach commissioner.
Yes, outreach commissioner. Yeah. I didn't even know. Thank you. Anyways, so they made that position, and I basically would make graphics and post them for whatever we were talking about. And those graphics worked at the time, and they were fun, and I really like making them. But with our new like sleek brand, Paula and I thought that it would be better to have more of like sleek Instagram posts. So anyways, my project is basically to make a document, which I'm hoping to have done this month, basically outlining, I understand a lot of people want to make their own posters and it's fun. You want to like show your creativity, okay. But we want to make it in a way that it's cohesive over the whole Instagram. So I'm gonna code in a specific color, comes out in Canva, the font you should be using, the theme that you should be using, and putting your own colors, like it makes a color for you. It's like really, really cool. So that would also help a lot. But I'm just hoping to have a document. We could put it on like our OWL on the Facebook page so people can go back to and look like this is how I have to make the graphics. So yeah, just so it's more cohesive and it's a bit more like professional and sleek. That's just the project I want to work on.
Yeah, is there any questions about that or any kind of what's the word? Input, ideas, like anything that you were thinking maybe you would like to see as social media posts, like a certain look, anything like that?
Paula, could you maybe pull up the one that I made and show them like something I was thinking?
This one?
Yeah. It like is a lot different.
Yeah.
President Petch, if you could look at it too and just tell me what you think about it. Like, I think it looks a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there was a couple issues regarding inconsistency. So like what I'm really looking for is like a broad template. And so like maybe that could even help. Like if somebody is really gung-ho and creating their own poster, and I know like we have a big comms team here, so the goal is like we would like to have the comms team making them.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody's really, really gung-ho on it, at least maybe giving them a bit of a template to be like, please at least make it like look slightly like we want it to.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking for is like a really nice template, and it's quicker for you too. So like if you have a nice template you're going with when making posts, it's going to be even quicker for you. So it just kind of helps all around. It's not like having to make a new one every single time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like it looks classy as well. So I think we are just kind of looking for like a more set template. I really like the templates that like Paula made, or like Chief Officer Bravo made for on the Instagram regarding like the representatives, and when we were promoting all the positions and such. Not sure if you wanted like, yeah, see, I think yeah, I think we're looking for more like, I would like to see more blue and yellow as well being like the set consistency and not like different colors. But I think if we do start getting a template, I'll just kind of keep an eye on it, and obviously I'll like let you know if everything looks like after like a month. But I'll just kind of let you guys like kind of do what you're trying to do, and kind of if things like look giant fire again, like we'll let you know.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep. Commissioner Calhoun?
Yeah, just point of personal privilege, but my screen on Zoom just went really small. Does anyone know how to like make it bigger again? I couldn't see the screen sharing.
What are you seeing? Are you seeing like your computer and like just our faces, or like what are you seeing?
So I mostly see my desktop, and then I just see like everyone's face really tiny.
Yeah. Do you see like a Zoom button anywhere? Like do you see like the Zoom logo anywhere at the bottom of your computer or anything that you could click?
Actually, I think I got it back.
Perfect. Okay, so are you like, can you see our screen now, like the designs and all that you're saying?
Okay, yeah. Okay. So like you can kind of see here, like with this one and like this one is kind of the same vibe, if you will, for lack of a better word. Yeah, so if you guys have like any, like, because the other thing is that I do like the, like Emily said, like this kind of more funsy, like cutesy vibe. But we are trying to, or like even like this, or like this,
Yeah.
like the different
See,
shapes.
those are the ones that I like most. Like I'm not sure if that helps you, Michaela, at all. Like those two, like the first year F1 and also the BC academic, like that's the vibe that like I love the most. I'm not really sure if that helps at all.
Counselor Castagna, the one thing I like the backgrounds of those, I just don't like the font of the academic rep positions. I really like the background and the border. I just think that the font could be like, I like the font of the ones that I did, or even the ones with the representative candidates, something like that.
I like the one, I like the middle one there more than the one too, right? So do you think like we can maybe blend that and kind of do like still like the cutesy a little bit, like, and with the font? So would you say like that one, the second one in there that Paul is currently scrolling on, like with the font and the
I like that one. Do you think though, like, because I don't think that every single post should have like the exact same background, because like
I agree,
right?
Like, maybe find like 2 or 3 like set styles you really like, but like I'm like, obviously I'm not like this background especially it has to be this one, but like just giving an idea, those are the 2 vibes that I like more than the model application one. Like I like these 2 vibes more.
Okay, So if we had something like those two, and then if I added one more background that we could use, like that would be a good like theme outline.
Yeah, I think a few people are also a little bit concerned regarding like stickers, because if we're wanting to repost on Instagram, like I think like for sometimes like sensitive stuff for suicide awareness, sometimes the little stickers took away from like the actual kind of classy content we were wanting to put out regarding like the topic. And then stickers are a little hard when you're trying to like repost it on your story. They don't like pop up well, apparently. This is all just kind of word of mouth. Like I don't really know comms very well. But yeah, so just like a kind of few things to flag. But yeah, I think like those are kind of the ones that like I'm in love with the most. The one with the pencil, yeah, I agree. Like that's a really nice font, really nice like background, and it's not cluttered. So I really like that one a lot.
Okay, awesome. And like, yeah, you can see like kind of this shift from this one to this one. Like we are kind of moving into the more like keeping the yellow and like just more like sleek, like serious almost vibe. So yeah, that's good input. I also like the font of this one. You're right, this one is a little more like, you know, like funsy kind of thing, but this one is like more legitimate, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's crazy to think that like a font can evoke all of these different like feelings and vibes and stuff. But yeah, cool. Any other suggestions? That's the word I've been looking for the past 5 minutes. Suggestions. Any other suggestions?
Commissioner Buzek, I typed hand in the chat, but it pretty much got covered. I was just going to say, yeah, I don't think we should only have like one specific one and just change the words every single time. I think it would be good to like have like 3 to 5 like ones like the top 3 you see here or whatever, and then rotate through them. Maybe they could all have the same font and stuff, just like a different type of like framing or background.
True. Anyone?
Councillor Castagna,
Mm-hmm.
Officer Bravo, do you want me to remake the model one again with the new template?
Sure. Yeah. I haven't sent it to Nevia yet.
Okay, that's being posted today, right?
This one, no, I think she wants it posted for October 5th, I believe.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna make
Yeah,
it tomorrow then.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect.
Yeah. The only one the ones that are going up tomorrow is the suicide prevention one in the afternoon, I think at 3, and then the orange shirt day. Thoughts on maybe remaking the orange shirt one? Like I brought it to Brooke and she said she was fine with it because it is her poster, but if we are moving to like the sneaker look.
Yeah, I think people are getting a little bit questionable about the flowers, that they are appearing a lot. I think like if we are wanting to move to the more professional, like the flowers, like I think they're nice, but like sometimes they just don't like align with what the post is and might like take away from the actual post. I don't think this post is like horrible or anything, but if you are wanting to like start rebranding right now, you do have time.
True.
Like if you are wanting to like start with this one to rebrand.
Councillor Castagna, I just don't want to have to remake like all of the ones that I already did. Like I'll remake a couple, but like if this one isn't that bad,
you're fine.
Because like it's hard too, because the whole last year it was do literally whatever you want. I got no direction. They're like add the flowers, add the doodles, right? So
yeah, I agree. And like I apologize too regarding that. Like anyone who was on council last year to this year, you're experiencing a giant rebrand, not just comms, not anything, the entire council. And so like you're feeling that. And like anyone who was on council last year is also feeling that. And people who weren't on council aren't feeling that because this is the norm, right? So like we do acknowledge that, yeah, standing committees are brand new. You've never experienced this before. This wasn't a part of life. Like engagement and like working with your portfolio holder, you didn't have any of this, right? And so like we do acknowledge that like we're also completely adjusting to, like we're like creating it and also adjusting to it at the same time. And this isn't the norm that was last year, like a little bit insider. And I'm glad that new people do think this is the norm. And like I hope like this is what the norm continues. But yeah, we really appreciate that. And like, yeah, no, you had no guidance. It was just put out stuff, random stickers, random everything. So like you've done the best you can regarding like your entire learned experience.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I was just like bringing it out as a thought, because this one I did show to Brooke and she was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. And she liked it a lot. So it was, just in case, but you're right. Like remaking it all, like doubling the work. I think this would probably be, sorry, this is probably the last one that before we shift to the kind of newer look, because the next one that goes out after that is the Suicide Prevention Month one, and then the modeling one, and then as they come in, right? So yeah, okay, awesome. Any other suggestions, pointers? Why can't I pull up the chat? Okay, cool. Okay. If that's everything for that, we would typically move on to for action, but there's nothing there since this is our first meeting, and we also haven't received any motions from anybody. So yeah, if I'll give the last opportunity for any general questions, concerns, anything you have.
Commissioner Buzek, President Petch, are you going to reach out to Lisa for us, or should we email her?
Yeah, just to be easier, like I text her on the daily. So
Okay.
I've just been updating her on who these secretaries are. She's kind of acting as like a big manager. I am leaving it to her to figure out like when are the meeting minutes going to be due, and so then she can put them on the OWL, or does she want you adding the exhibit on the OWL? Like, what are her expectations there? So I just actually messaged her the update on who they are. She hasn't answered yet, but I'll get you in contact with her very, very soon. She'll probably send an email.
Awesome. And then I see a hand from Commissioner Calhoun.
Yeah, so my question is, for the Brush a Buzz, when do we start posting and how do we upload a post?
Yes, so I will be setting up a one-on-one, or well, I guess a two-on-one, because I might as well have you and Jillian have a meeting with both of you to go about it. I'll give you guys a full tutorial, access to the website, and everything. And then we will be in contact, I know, with Emily a lot, because I know she has a lot of plans for the Brush a Buzz, and she does want to be pushing out kind of like recaps of like the general council meeting and, stuff like that. And then we can also maybe at our next standing committee meeting, or if we decide to have an earlier portfolio meeting, we can kind of all come up with ideas as to like what content we want to be putting out, just so it doesn't like all fall on you guys, because I do understand that it's not like you're picking up where it was left off last year. This is completely like pretending as if it never existed, and we are bringing it forward. And we want to establish it so that next year's Brush a Buzz editors and whoever's in the communications portfolio can be just picking it up from our year and continuing it. That's the whole goal of this year, right? It's kind of setting these standards. So don't worry, I will be in contact with each of you for one-on-one meetings in your positions.
Sorry, I had another thing.
Sure.
And I know that it said like we have to put an article out every month, but September is almost over. So does that start in October?
Yes, that'll start in October. Yeah, there's like,
Can I have a hand?
President Petch.
I was gonna chat, but I didn't know if that was like, we're kind of running low on time. But yeah, so me and Paula, we're gonna come up with like a cute little Google Doc on like our goals for Brush a Buzz. I know this is something we're both really excited about. Like we have the opportunity here, like Jillian, like and yourself and me and Paula, we have the opportunity here to build up something from scratch, and that's a really great opportunity. Like literally no limitations, nothing. So there's like going to be a few expectations of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for like a general meeting recap, so a recap on what happened at the general meeting. So like you could even start writing one right now, because you both did attend the general meeting on Sunday. So I want like a general meeting recap. Maybe once a month you could also write like an executive recap where you talk to the 5 executives and you give an update on the biggest things they did, or maybe like something like that. So I'm looking for like a few core things that will go out on certain days or like certain weeks. And then also like little accessory stuff you guys want to do. So like we'll be in contact with you very soon regarding that.
Sorry, I have something else.
No,
I
go
was
for
wondering. I was wondering if like, I know you want some reoccurring posts, if we could have a post that goes out every month of like upcoming events online and in person, like in the same post, like the online and the in person, but just including both, so that there's like a monthly events, then students might check it every month to see what's going on.
Yeah, that's a great idea for sure.
I can do
Emily said,
that.
Yeah,
Um,
limitations, none, because we
Yeah.
are literally.
I'm a more boring person. So I'm just gonna have those reoccurring. Like, I want the journal meeting. Maybe you can give an update on the standing committees. Maybe you could do a little update on the execs, or maybe you can work with the film and photography commissioner. So the film photography commissioner could be doing a little update on what the execs did that month, and so you could do the written. They could do like a video kind of style. That's kind of where I'm envisioning this. I'm wanting like kind of updates.
Yeah.
Maybe you could even interview an exec. There's going to be core things I want, but yeah, like events and
Yeah.
all that, yeah, totally up to you.
I do have some ideas. So if you make the document, like,
Yeah.
would we be able to edit it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so so I won't be at the meeting between you, Jillian, and Paula. Like, that's completely up to you. I'll just kind of tell Paula the ones that I'm looking for, the reoccurring ones, and then it's all yours to have fun and play around with it. You can do like 12 a month, you can do like 2 a month, like just kind of there's a baseline that I'm looking for, but like make it all yours, have great fun with it. And also we're wanting to have students also maybe post on it, so they can send you posts they want, and you can just copy edit it and then post them. So we're just really wanting to make this like big and great. So yeah, I just kind of have like a few things I'm looking for, but yeah, no limitations on you.
I see a hand for AVP Castagna.
AVP Castagna, just for President Petch, so let's say I make the graphic like the one that you liked on Canva. So that one had like an envelope with like the pencil, right? But because this is for like a photography event, can I use like a very basic like camera sticker? Like if I'm using stickers, like outlines?
Yeah, like were you saying like instead of just the one photo of the pencil, one photo of something else? So it's like still classy, but oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, is that okay?
So like, pretty much like when I'm saying like no stickers, and not just like 1,000 little stickers, but yeah, like if you want like a couple graphics on the post to like complement the post, yeah, totally.
Okay, perfect.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Awesome. Any other general questions, concerns? Okay, awesome. I don't see anything in the chat, so we can move on for end roll call. If I can find the document again, here we go. This side, there we go, got it. All right, me present. AVP Castagna.
Present.
Commissioner is, okay, pronounce your name for me because I keep wanting to say Sakira. Don't know why.
Sequera.
Sequera, gotcha. Present. Commissioner Buzek.
Present.
Commissioner Burrows.
Present.
Commissioner Calhoun.
Present.
Commissioner Faru.
Present.
And Commissioner LaRue.
Present.
Perfect. So this meeting is adjourned. The next meeting I will send, like I said at the beginning, a doodle poll so we can schedule all of the meetings for first semester. But yeah, 10 minutes early, nice. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming.